Good evening. You're watching the Fairfield's Home and Garden Journal. And as promised, we're here at my friend Ellen's establishment, and she's going to show us how to make bagel. Thank you, Ellen, for letting us come into your place and kind of invade this place. I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you. Thank you. This is my friend Ellen, and she is the owner of this establishment, a bagel shop here in Fairfield. And Ellen, tell us where it's located and how can we get to your place?
It's located at 306 West Burlington, and anybody could come in here. We're open from 6:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. We have homemade fresh soups every day and fresh bagels. And
So you can eat here, and you also can take out.
that's right. And we have different flavored cream cheeses and sandwiches. And
Cream cheese, the flavored cream cheese, do you make them yourself?
yes, we get the plain cream cheese and then we mix with our own flavoring in it.
Can you tell me what varieties you have?
We have strawberry, honey walnut, green olive pimento, lox spread, chives, hot tamale, plain, cucumber dill.
Oh my goodness, quite a variety. Now with the lox spread, you know, my favorite is lox. So you just mix the lox then with the cream cheese, but it's
Right.
not the real thing, right? It's the real thing, but it's not the lox bagel, because the lox
No.
bagel would be cream cheese and lox
Right.
and onions and so on. And I was wondering, before we go into your bakery, if you could kind of show the varieties of bagels that you have available for sale. Why don't you go behind the counter and kind of show us what you have?
Okay.
Okay, let's break. I tell you, I'm getting hungry just looking at those wonderful bagels, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, the real bagel, the bagel that I remember having as a child and later on when we traveled to the East and West Coast. This is the real bagel. So, Ellen, help us out. What do you have? What do you have to offer?
Well, we have poppy seed and we have raisin cinnamon. We have sesame and everything bagel, which has poppy, sesame, onion, garlic, dill, and salt on it, all on one bagel.
Whoa!
We have a garlic bagel, a plain bagel, a salt, an onion, a dill, and a wheat and a rye bagel.
Wheat and rye. So the dough would be then wheat or rye.
Right.
Okay, good. So that's quite a variety. Did you mention raisin cinnamon?
Yes, I did.
You did. I didn't hear you, but that's an excellent breakfast bagel, isn't it? And
A
so
lot
you
of people really like that.
in the morning. So, and you also bake your own rolls
Yes, we
and
have.
muffins.
We have sweet rolls. We have 3-berry, which have blueberry, raspberry, and blackberries in them. And then we have a chocolate chip one and a raisin walnut. And then we have lemon poppy muffins, blueberry muffins, and banana walnut muffins.
Look at the size of these muffins. Whoa. And also I can attest to the 3-berry sweet rolls. They're wonderful. They're wonderful for breakfast with a cup of coffee or just for a little snack in the afternoon. I hope you can see that. They're humongous. And this is the place to come where you like to get big portions.
We also have fresh homemade cream puffs
Ooh,
that we make over here.
yeah. Can you see? Please do take them out so we can see them. They're again large. So if you're into dessert, and maybe if you bring a special friend, Elm might let you cut it in half and you can share. I'm sure she does.
And then also we have our specialty coffees that people can get.
Wonderful. With a bagel or with a roll or a muffin in the morning. And then also, tell us a little bit about this big thing. I am very intrigued about it.
Well, this is our party bagel. Just brand new, and we can slice it in half and make a big sandwich on it for the Super Bowl Sunday or any party.
Big. That sounds like fun and very different. Let's break because I think we're back again in here in at the heart of your establishment, the bakery. And be so kind and show us what you do, what happens to create a bagel or to bake a bagel.
Okay, well, I already measured all my flour, and inside here is my flour and sugar and salt. And this is my mixer. It's called a spiral mixer because the bowl moves and the hook moves. So I'm going to turn it on.
So you put in the flour.
So this is kind of mixing the sugar and salt together. Just kind of mixing it up a little.
Oh, it's a big hook. It's amazing, these industrial style mixers. And then you add the water.
And I add the water. So it's starting to make the yeast grow.
It's just like at home you would do in a bowl, only Alan is using this industrial strength machine to mix everything up. And can you come over here and kind of look into the bowl? There, excuse me. Can you see? So she's adding some more flour. It's all mixed up.
In here for about 4.5 minutes.
Okay. So 400, I don't know if you could hear, 4.5 minutes it will be mixed. And it will be what, a stiff dough?
Yeah.
Kind of stiff like a bread dough.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's take a break. Okay. Well, we're back. 4.5 minutes have passed and the dough is ready to be taken out. It's all mixed and kind of sticky looking. So Alan, please. Sure, and she's using the knife to cut it all apart. And that's something about dough. Don't rip dough, cut it.
It's so heavy to carry.
And it's also heavy. As you can see, this is the start of this wonderful product called Bagels. And I have to tell you, it already smells wonderful. And if you bake your own bread, you can really relate to this. It just smells wonderful. So Alan, what's your estimate? How many pounds of bagel dough will this be?
Well, it's about 50 pounds of flour.
So it will be 50 plus, with a little bit with the water and the sugar and
It'll make about 240 bagels.
this dough will make 240 bagels. Whoa, that's a pile of bagels.
Okay, so I'm not going to need to get my rack here.
All right, so let's return in a while and when Alan will get ready to get her rack and then we'll be back. We're back and Alan, you're ready to go to work, I see.
Yep. So what we do is we cut these into strips so we can fit them into the divider and then it goes into the former. So what we do is kind of form them like this.
Mm-hmm. Now when you say the divider, that's the machine behind you.
This with the long arm here, this machine right here is called the divider, which it weighs it and cuts it, and then it drops onto the former, and then it goes through here and it connects into here, and then it drops onto this table and I put it onto a tray. So I'll show you how this all works. Can you see this part? So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
So what happens is this little thing up here pulls the dough through, and then it comes out like little hot dogs onto the former tray, and goes through, and then it comes out the shape of a bagel. So I put cornmeal on my tray so the bagels don't stick. You gotta be kind of fast here.
Okay. So this is pretty automatic.
Automatic?
Yeah, automatic, Alan. And
Yeah.
when
Compared to what I used to do all this by hand. You know,
so you would cut it and form it all by hand.
when I first started.
So she's putting it on a trays. And there they come. I don't know if you can see though, those little pieces, like little sausages, come through, and there is a form there that presses them down and makes a circle. So at the end where Ellen is standing, she's just picking up the bagels and putting them on her trays. Isn't that neat? Oh, it looks good. You see? So this would be the second step. First, Ellen mixes, and then they're formed and go on trays. And she'll tell us what the next step is. So Ellen has to be really fast, and can you see the bagels are coming down, and they're cut right there, and then they go up. Really, really fast.
Well, usually there's two people who do this.
Usually two people that help you.
Yeah, well, Shana usually cuts, and then I catch.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to be on film.
Ellen, what do you put on the trays? Is it flour or
Cornmeal.
It's cornmeal, so they won't stick.
Right.
Okay. So what happens after you put them on the trays?
So after the tray is all full and we're done with all the dough, we cover it with these covers, wrap covers, and we cover them for about, depending on the weather, 15, 20, sometimes 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to test the bagels is that we float it in cold water. If the bagels are done rising, they'll float to the top.
Okay, so if the bagels are done rising, if the yeast work correctly, they'll float to the top. A neat idea to test if your dough is done. I didn't know that. And you can see there's the little sausages still coming out. It's fascinating. It's just fascinating. Now, Ellen, tell me, this is actually your basic dough,
Yes.
and then you just add the topping, like poppy seed or so. So it's all the same dough. And while we were off the camera, we tasted the dough, and it's really good. And I have been nibbling on it. Ellen gave me one raw bagel, but that's the basic bagel. And so we will come back, and then Alan will show us what the next steps would be to finish the bagels. So we'll see you then tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Well, I don't know where you want to start. These guys are going to go over there. I'm gonna
Good morning. Here we are again with our second part of how to make bagels. And it's early Sunday morning. And we're with Ellen again in her bakery. And this is Ellen, this would be the third step, right? After kneading the dough and getting it into the forms, what would be next?
In the morning I come in and I bring them out so they warm up. They're in the retarder for overnight, and then they warm up a little bit, and then I boil them, and then I bake them.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing now. Oh, and then I'm putting the seeds on it.
Yeah. So after you boil them, and we will watch you putting in some more bagels in there, you just put the topping on.
Yeah.
In this case, it's poppy seed. Already looks delicious.
That's Karin's favorite.
That's my favorite. That's right. Oh, look how fast she works. And what time you usually get up, Alan?
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Excuse me.
Now, talk about hard work. Okay, sorry, wait. There's another batch that just came out of the boiling water, and we'll show you that to the. We're going to show that to you in a minute. But Alan has to work real fast because those babies need to be baked, and they also need to be delivered this morning. Alan has customers all over town that like to get their bagels fresh. So what a treat. So what topping is that?
This is sesame.
That's sesame.
So I'm gonna come over here and put some stuff in the
Okay.
kettle.
So there the bagels go in the kettle. Can you see? They're floating.
And then they boil for 40 seconds on each side.
40 seconds on each side. How hot is the water, Alan?
It's boiling.
It's just boiling point then. So you have to be really careful working with them because you can get hurt. So there they're floating. I have to tell you, it's toasty and nice in here, coming out from the cold. It's wonderful in here, and it starts to smell really nice. Also, we haven't talked about the fat content in the bagels, Alan, because you really do not add any oils or fats to your bagels when you bake them.
No, my bagels have no eggs, butter, oil, milk. It doesn't have anything in it, or any preservatives or dough conditioners.
So they're all natural, and the only oil, the little oil they will have, will be the natural oil from your flour and sugar and yeast. So it's really a healthy food. And if somebody's watching their food intake and their diet, this is the bread to eat, really.
Yeah.
Just have to watch what to put on.
That's right.
But this would be wonderful.
And they're good. They fill you up really nice too.
Yeah, I can attest to that. It's a great breakfast food before you start the day, and also great lunch. And it holds you over. You know, if I have a bagel for lunch, it holds me over for a long, long time. So you're turning around
So
the bagel.
I turned them over already, and now I'm turning them over again, and I'm going to be taking them out of the kettle.
Uh-huh. How many gallons does this boiling container hold?
I think it's 45.
45 gallons.
Wow.
So, and now you're putting it on your draining board.
Yes, this is called a trough.
Trough. Aha.
So when they come on here, I kind of separate them so air gets to them because they're kind of slimy.
So they kind of dry out a little bit.
Like,
Very nice. So Alan, how long have you been doing this? How have you been baking bagels? I know you started out of your house.
actually, January 19th was Zadie's Bagel third birthday.
Great. So you've
So
been
3 years ago, I started baking bagels. Excuse me. In my kitchen,
at home.
at home, doing everything by hand. I cook 12 at a time.
Ellen, what gave you the idea to start a bagel business? Because that's not an easy business to be in early in the morning and dealing in a food business or dealing with the food business. It's not an easy business. But what makes you decide to bake bagels?
Well, I'm from California, and we always had bagels when I was growing up, and there wasn't any real bagels here. You know, like what they tasted like when I grew up.
Yeah.
So I thought, and I knew that there was a lot of people from here. Excuse me. Is it off?
There you go.
I forgot where I was. Bigger city, bagels. And I thought that there was a lot of people here that knew what real bagels were too. So we experimented in my kitchen, my kids and I, and came up with a really good tasting bagel.
So this is really your own recipe.
Yeah, we experimented, and we didn't even know how to put holes in the bagels when we first started.
Okay. There goes another batch into the water. Actually, 2 batches in there. It's really neat to see, and I hope you can see that. They just kind of float around. And this is the last step, Alan, isn't it? And you have been working really, really hard putting the bagels in the oven. What's the temperature in the oven?
It's 400 or so.
400 or so degrees.
So this is called a revolving oven. Right.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Well, it has 4 shelves on it, and it goes around like a Ferris wheel.
Uh-huh.
So it cooks them evenly. I have to wait for the other shelf to come around.
So how many shelves?
There's 5.
5 shelves.
5 shelves. I put 3 trays on a shelf, and there's 15 bagels on a tray.
So when you're done, you have over 200 bagels. Little math here. And you bake them
25 minutes.
25 minutes. There, the other shelves comes down. 400 is some degrees. And there it goes. And it's still wonderful and toasty in here. I'm enjoying myself. And Alan has been working so hard. Look at her. She's been running around boiling bagels, putting the topping on, and now putting all this. She has to work real fast because and her timing is just excellent, I have to say. She knows what she's doing. This is like an old bakery shop. I remember that when I was a child, baker getting up early in the morning, and then when everybody was ready to go shopping, 8, 9, the bread was on the shelves, still warm. So this is really neat. Do try her bagels because they're baked fresh every day.
There's nothing like a hot bagel either.
Oh, yes.
So, should I start?
Please.
So, Karin, now the bagels are done, and I'm taking them out of the oven.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
are beautiful.
it smells
Yeah.
wonderful, Ellen. Oh, I can't wait to bite into one. I'm sorry you can't smell this. This is just unbelievable. So I can see the tray coming down.
And we have beautiful.
Look at this. Oh. And they're going into direct to cool. Now look at the color of them. Now talk about old-fashioned good food. Here it is.
Here it is, and now let's taste one.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, here we are, Alan, after this day. Thank you very much for letting us to come to your bagel shop.
Thank you for coming.
And what better way to end the show with a great bagel? My favorite, poppy seed with strawberry cream cake and a great cup of coffee.
I will have cream cheese all over my face.
Now, this is great. So this will be for this show. This is the Home and Garden Journal. I'm your host, Karin Howery. Thank you for joining us. Good night, Fairfield.